I'm not even touching the keyboard. So let's change the pitch. Changing the pitch of the synthesizer box. Yes, it's a lot of fun.
Hello and welcome back. Your G-Man here, coming to you from my studio/lab for an exciting new product review. Today I am giving a user review of the new Behringer VC340 vocoder. The VC340 is billed as a complete reproduction of the Roland VP-330 vocoder analog circuitry. The divide-down voice architecture, vocoder, strings filter, human voice bandpass formant filters, and not forgetting that lovely quad BBD ensemble circuit. The whole enchilada. The original VP-330 is a somewhat rare and lofty priced vintage synthesizer from the 70s, and supposedly now available for around 20% of the cost of the original. I used to own the original VP-330 MK1, so how does the VC340 compare? Let's see. Right out of the box, let's look at the construction. The case is made out of steel with real wood end caps. Therefore, it's got some heft to it. It's about the same size of an MS-20 and weighs about the same as that too. I find the keyboard is acceptable. They wiggle and they twist a bit, but they get the job done. I wasn't expecting metal shaft pots and switches, but that's what we have. The sliders and buttons are what you would expect, as on many other synths. Round the back, there's the USB and MIDI in-out through. It's possible to change the transmit and receive channels using a boot-up sequence. So if the 3-octave keyboard is too limiting, you can connect your larger master keyboard. Just know you won't gain any extra notes outside of the possible range due to the limits of the divide-down voice architecture. We have 1/4-inch stereo outputs, low, medium, and high output switch, foot switch jacks for pitch shift off and on switch, and vocoder on and off switch. Unfortunately, there's no sustained hold jack for the keyboard in general. External synth input for the vocoder, headphones jack. Mic input in both XLR and 1/4-inch, and an EIC connector for power cord. Take note the recommended voltage is 100 to 240 volts. Say what? That means you can plug any AC voltage from around the world, and the internal switch mode power supply will sort out the rest for you. And no wall warts. Pretty cool. Let's plug in and drill down into some sounds. For the uninitiated, it only does 3 sounds, but it is among the very best of those 3 sounds. Synth choirs, synth strings, and oh yeah, vocoder robot sounds.
This is the sound.
The VC340 is fully paraphonic, meaning there's no limit to how many notes you can play at the same time. Just know these notes all obey a single attack-release control VCA. In other words, all the notes will have the same dynamics. New notes will start at the same amplitude as those already playing. Full paraphony is due to the divide-down voice architecture similar to vintage organs. You hit the power switch and it takes about 7 seconds to power up. While it is all analog sound circuitry, the MIDI functions are under digital control. This may be the only one to offer a quad BBD ensemble chorus. That means there are 4 modulated analog delay lines. Most other popular string synthesizers from the 70s only use 3 delay lines. So in stereo, the VP-330 ensemble and now the VC340 provide a lively and swirly sonic panorama second to none. Just look at the 2-channel oscilloscope display. It's all over the place. Let's check out the vocoder. I'll be using Audio-Technica Pro 8 HG with XLR jack. Of course, the first thing I must try is the Cylon voice from the original Battlestar Galactica.
This is the sound of a normal Cylon. This is the sound of a higher-ranking Cylon. This is the sound of a Commander Cylon. Now with the ensemble turned off, now with the ensemble turned off, and once again, let's play some chords, let's play some chords, let's play some chords, it's really cool. ensemble turned on now. Like that, it sounds really good. Sometimes you get some feedback. Turn it down a bit. Yes, like that. There you go.
But we don't have to use the keyboard to control the vocoder. We can use external synth input to control vocoder pitch.
Okay, I am using my Pittsburgh synthesizer box in Eurorack to control the pitch of the vocoder. I'm not even touching the keyboard. So let's change the pitch. Changing the pitch of the synthesizer box. Yes, it's a lot of fun. And that's a square wave. I can add a sawtooth wave, and I can add the sub oscillator. So that sounds pretty interesting to me. Yes, that's a lot of fun. And don't forget to make sure you don't get any feedback from your studio monitors. That's a lot of fun.
Furthermore, we don't have to use a microphone in the vocoder. Here I'm plugging in the drum brute impact output into the 1/4 inch mic input. Now let's check out the choirs and strings. If we remember my VP-03 review, the oscillators of the VP-03 were not phase locked in a divide down architecture. This resulted in aliasing artifacts buzzing in the ensemble circuit when you play notes in octaves. The voices they're not phase locked. The result of this is that when you play octaves, you start to get this weird buzzing sound. And it just doesn't sound good. Yeah, you can change the way that you play to work around that. The VC340 is a divide down structure. Let's see how that sounds. So smooth, no buzzing artifacts there, and I can play as many notes as I want. The more notes you play, the better it sounds, to me. I know some musicians out there would have liked it to be a 4-octave keyboard, but I seem to be getting along just fine on 3 octaves here. Listen to those envelopes, that delicious log taper. That sounds very natural, just like on the original. It sounds just like the synth I used to have. I couldn't be more pleased as a big fan of string synthesizers. And there you have it, the VP-330, oops, Freudian slip, the VC340 vocoder by Behringer. Some final thoughts. At 20% of the cost of the original, Behringer have done it again. The VC340 is a fantastic reincarnation of that classic string vocoder. A smaller footprint to fit better in the studio. Amazing sound. I am really searching for something to criticize here, but in reality, it's all my vocoder string synth dreams come true. If you're into these kinds of vintage, robotic, swirly synth string sounds, you'll be very hard-pressed to overlook the VC340 at this price point. And there you have it. And if you don't mind, I'd like to get on with it some more. So thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.